Yo, another stream today. Make sure it's working. So I was just sent these products from LLANO. I've dealt with them in the past. They make some nice stuff. I do have terms that they have to abide by, or basically agree to, before I accept any products. But I was sent these for free. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna turn on one more thing before we get started. Make sure it's working. Right. Yeah, this looks good. Go live. 3, 2, 1. All right. It's going to be doing an unboxing of these two products from LLANO. They're, of course, for cameras and related stuff. They did send me these for free. However, they have to agree to my terms before I accept anything from a company. And my terms basically say that they have no say in the content of my videos or anything at all. So they just have to send me the thing and I'd say what I want. So I was obviously not paying for this. So, you can factor that into my opinion because I don't have money on the line besides tax on the value of things. Yeah. Anyways, I have a 4-slot camera battery charger for EN-EL15C batteries for Nikon, however you want to pronounce them. So maybe not just the C version, but all of the batteries that I have are kind of like the EN-EL15C, which you can charge in the camera. But I would assume this would work with the other ones. And then this other device, I specifically asked them to send me this because it looked really interesting. So this is a 2-in-1 card reader with storage inside. And it looks like it's at least water resistant or something like that. But it looks very interesting. So that's the F15. Sounds like a plane. And this is, I don't know if this has a specific name. Like, I'm not sure. But I do have some notes that I compiled. Let's see. Okay, it does have a name. This thing is the CM4. And you can buy this with batteries, but I told them not to send me more batteries. So it's just the charger. And it's USB based. The cool thing about this one is that it's supposed to be able to do reverse charging. So you can put your batteries in the thing and then charge your phone, potentially. Now, why would you want to use your camera batteries to charge a phone? It's kind of a convenience thing, in my opinion. That's kind of what I would think would be the reason. So you don't have to bring an additional charger. You can just use your camera batteries for a camera or something else with this device. So it looks cool. And yeah, like I said, this also looks very interesting. It's SD cards, so standard SD, micro SD, UHS 2. I do have one UHS 2 card that I'll try this with. I'll try connecting it to a phone as well as my computer at some point to see what the transfer speeds are. But we'll get to that once I unbox everything. So I'm going to go over to my unboxing area and get started here. Switch to hands-on view. Okay, that looks good. There we go. So I'm going to move over a few things to this area. Got the different, whoops, I have a Z5 here with some of the batteries. There's a battery inside the camera, and then I have 4 additional ones. Get my little chat window thing. Of course, if you have any questions, I'll make an attempt to help. It doesn't have to specifically be about the stuff I'm looking at, but up to you. Whatever you're curious about. Just moving a few things around. I'll have to get another phone for the... Oh, how's it going? Sure, Lynn. How are you today? Let's see. Move this in. All right. Got a bunch of things for examples here that we can look at. Let's start with the charger, and then we can take a look at this card reader once we get to that. So I've got one single UHS 2 memory card. So the interesting thing about, or I mean, the difference between the two, this is a UHS 2 SD card. It's got more pins on the back. This is a standard one. So these are faster, at least potentially faster. And this card reader is supposed to be able to read and utilize the faster stuff. But anyways, we'll start with this charger. So this should work with any of the EN-EL15 batteries, I would assume. But I only have the C variant, which is the ones that work in the camera to charge through the camera if you want. And are you saying, are batteries camera model specific? Do you mean the C variant? I'm pretty sure the C variant is the, well, I know there are multiple, right, of the Nikon battery. So the early ones were not capable of charging in the camera, as far as I remember. I don't have any of those at this point. But that was like in the DSLR days. So if you generally buy a Nikon battery, it's going to likely be this variant or a newer one. I don't have the info offhand on that, but I also have some LLANO variants of this battery. So this is basically equivalent to the EN-EL15C, and this has a USB-C port on it, so you could charge it itself with a USB charger. I should have tagged this in my product thing. I don't know if I'm able to do that now. Let's see, go back. I can add products. Yeah, actually, I'll probably be able to tag this if I do it. Oh, you're saying, yeah, this charger is specifically for this specific battery. I would assume they have variants of it for different batteries, but yeah, this is specifically for charging this battery type. Yeah. This is just the one that they offered to send me. I don't personally have any Sony cameras that can use the new battery type, the Z battery. So I wouldn't have been able to properly try that. Let's see. So right now I'm just updating something on one of the live streams. What are these called? Aurora batteries. Now, this is one of the more interesting ones that I've been sent recently, is that it has a charge state indicator on the battery itself. It's pretty cool. So it's that direction. Do a little zoom in here. So this is also from LLANO. I mentioned this in the beginning of my stream. They did send me this new stuff for free. I'm going to keep it, but they have to agree to my terms before I accept anything. And basically my terms say that they have no say in the content of anything I produce. So take that for what it is. Whoops, I'm just typing something in here. So I can add it to the stream. One of them. Yeah. Try to do this while I'm also adding the... There we go. Might have to get some scissors. Come on. There we go. Very substantial wrapping. All right, one more thing here. Let's see. I'll look at that a little bit later. In the background, I guess. Whoops. Let's see how we open. So there's a little thing in the bottom. Okay, there we go. So this one does not come with batteries. I told them that I don't need more batteries. So they were like, sure, we're not. They did offer to send it with batteries, which obviously is more expensive. But I was like, just send me the charger, please. Oops. So we've got a fast charger manual thing. Zoom in there. See what they say. Oh. There we go. Okay, this should be good. Nice. So, got a bit of specifications on it. Like I said, this version is only for, oops, forgot to record. It's only for this specific battery. The interesting thing about it is that you should be able to do reverse charging when you want. So you could charge your phone with camera batteries through this device or something like that, whatever you want to do. It says USB-C input power up to 3.25 amps. And that's going to be with PD charging, I would assume. So that capability, that means your USB charger would need that capability. Can you change a Sony a6000 battery? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, can you charge an a6000 battery? Not with this thing, but I would assume that they have a similar device for those specific batteries. I mean, technically you could, if you have a charger that's USB based, it would probably work to push the power, but that would be a very odd use case if you wanted to charge other batteries with other camera batteries. Let's see. Trying to look at this thing here. So the output is probably per battery. I don't know. All this stuff is kind of like, if you care about it, check it out. So the input here, I think there's 2 ports. So one of them is 3.25 amp max, and that's like PD most likely. And this is 2 amp max. And then down here, USB-C output up to 3 amps. Yeah, a lot of specifications. Reverse charging. Yeah, I would assume you could, but obviously you would need a USB charger for that battery, because it's just gonna likely work like a regular. I haven't tried it. I'm just guessing, but it would probably just work like a battery bank in that case. So we've got charging display, green light. Yeah, so there's some information there. I'll just take a look at it, and then there's different languages in this little manual. Okay, let's see what we got here. There it is. So on the top, it says accessories, right there where my finger is, which is a single cable. There we go. All right. There it is. Let's see. Looks like on the back we can slide this plastic off or separate it. All right. So you're saying reverse charging of a phone can be useful when the power goes out? Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you exhausted all of your standard battery banks and you had camera batteries around, this would be useful in a pinch, like I said. All right. We'll see if it works. Yeah, that was one of the main reasons I was open to trying this thing, because it sounded interesting. LLANO tends to do some more unique stuff with their battery stuff. Oh, how's it going? Wentastic? Hi. I am multi-streaming, so if I mention someone, it's probably on a different chat. All right, put this thing in here so I don't lose it. Not that I need packaging, but there we go. Yeah, I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. LLANO sent me these things, but they had to agree to my terms where in any situation where I'm accepting a product from a company, they have no say in the content of anything that I produce. So they sent it, and that's it. And then I decide what I like or dislike and whatever regarding that. So here it is. This appears to be some type of metal on the exterior case. Feels like metal. It's cold to the touch. Got some fins on the bottom for what I assume just convective cooling. And a bunch of information on the bottom. From where I'm sitting, I can't really read it without pulling up to my face, but there's a model name and a bunch of specifications, which I basically went over in the manual. It's got some rubber on the bottom too for grip, which is nice. This thing down here is some sort of touch screen, which we'll check out once I power it up. Zoom out here. So, okay, this feels like it's, okay, there are magnets in here, which is nice. And you can see there are spots to put memory cards if you would like. So I could stick a memory card in here. It looks like, oh, okay, I get it. So you just slide it like that. Is this one? Does that fit in there? No. So I guess if you want a backup memory card just in case, you can leave that in there. Nice little extra feature. If you go on a trip, you forget your memory cards, if you just leave one in there, yeah, I could see that being useful. Pretty cool. These are probably for micro. Let's see. Try to get a better view here for everyone. My camera is in manual focus, so it doesn't hunt around. Okay, yeah. There we go. So you got 2 slots for micro and 1 slot for standard. And yeah, just leave one in there. And if you take this on a trip or something, you should be good. Let's see. Pretty easy to remove for that one. Yeah. Very nice. Obviously with this topper, you do not want to leave the thing on when it's charging. So I feel like that should be obvious, but yeah. It's got a substantial set of magnets. Feels good. Yeah. All right. And then on the side here, these are the 2 ports that I mentioned in the manual. These are USB-C ports. You can see the orange featuring, you know, it's like PD rated or whatever. I don't know, one of them at least. So C1, C2, I could pull the spec again. Let's see. So the likely C1 input, I think that's the 3.25 amp one. And then the C2 output, that's 2 amp. So this probably would be what you do if you want to do the reverse charging in that case. All right. So I need some type of charger. All that I personally have, I think, is up to 20 watts, which I can get here. Whoops, actually have to use this one. So there's one. Whoops, zoom out here. Sorry. Just trying to find a few cables and such that I can use to make this work. I mean, you could also potentially charge from a battery bank if you want to do that as well. So there's a battery bank. USB cables. I do have an example that I could show that Paul had mentioned. Here's a A6000 charger that's USB, so we could try that later. So USB-C to USB-C. Yeah, so this is 20 watt. This will not fully tax or use the capabilities of this. I would assume I put in the input port and then plug this thing in. All right, so I do see information on the display here. So it doesn't see anything. It has a little green indicator, meaning it is power delivery, I would assume, or like higher than standard. I can check that with a different cable. Oh, yeah. So the cable I'm using is not included. It comes with this thing though, the LLANO cable. So that's USB-C to USB-C. I could swap it to this one just in case. Whoops. There we go. Pull that. Just in case, might as well use their included cable. So, go. There it is. Got their branding on it. Let's plug that back in. Yeah, it lights up when it gets plugged in. It's like little indicators for each port. And then that extra green light showed up on the screen. You know, it's a little hard to see because I have lighting so bright. But there is a little indicator. Should be good. So before I swap out anything, I'm just gonna try this out and see what happens. I know that one of these needs a bit of a charge. Yeah, so this one is at 75%. And then on the top, obviously with this specific battery type, it has a certain shape. So it's only gonna go in one direction. It was easy. And we can see it says 53% charge on it. 54%, 55%. So I'm not really sure what you can do there, but it's going up already within the few seconds that I put it in there. Pretty cool. Yeah. Oops. There we go. Let me see if the instructions mention any type of additional features with the screen there. Green lightning icon will disappear when fully charged. Okay. So the charge indication, we have charging display orientation. The green light icon is off. Quick charge. The green lightning icon is always on. And then reverse charging. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, but it's okay. Yeah, the instructions don't really say too much here. Just gonna get another cable from my phone so that it doesn't turn off while I'm doing this. Let's see. I would thought that I was so prepared, but there's always something that I'd miss before I get started. That should be good. Yeah. we go. Cool. Will this work? Yep. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's as easy as it gets with that. I will try the reverse charging in a second, but I can add the different batteries in here. Oh, this one goes this direction. All right, that's an official battery. This one's also official. Some of these are probably almost charged or fully charged. Obviously, I'm using a 20-watt power source, so I'm limited on capabilities here. So if you really want to maximize the functionality out of this based on like the speed of charging and stuff, you're going to need a 65-watt power delivery USB charger, and that's obviously not included in the setup. But it looks to be working. I don't think there's anything I can do on here besides touch this to activate it. I would assume this turns off after a while when it's just doing its thing. Yeah. It's pretty easy. I'll pull this one. That's almost already charged. See what happens. Okay, very easy to pull out. And this should be obvious, but don't do that. It's a bad idea. So don't put that on there when it's charging. You want it open. Although the case is metal, it just seems like that would be a bad idea to do that. Anyways. There's a little bit of text on the side. Yeah, feels nice in the hands. All right, okay, that one's almost charged as well. So if I pull, oh, did I put it back in? Let's try this one. Oh, it says 98%. All right, I'm gonna disconnect this from the charger. So the screen is still lit without any power source, which is interesting. So it's using some of the power from the batteries themselves to keep this functional. That's interesting. So I can turn it on and turn it off. So in this case, let's connect it to something. First off, let me see, this should be obvious. It should work to be charged from a battery. So this battery is at 78%. Yeah, so this should be charging the camera batteries with this external battery bank. So you could do that if you wanted, pretty easily. For whatever reason, no surprise. And there is a little indicator saying that it's like an advanced form of charging connection. So what we could also do is, oh, my phone is at 100%. Let's see. Could try this. So Paul had mentioned charging an A6000 battery with this as a battery bank. You can try that out, see if it works. I would assume so. In this case, it does have a USB-C connection point. So I'll put that there. Let me see if I can find an A6000 battery that needs charge. These tend to discharge, so I'm sure that one of them needs help. There we go. So here's a few additional batteries. The question, why would you want to do this? I don't know, but it's fun to try it. So I'm going to put this into the output port instead of the input port. So that's C2. It did light up. It's a good sign. That means it's pushing power to it. Yeah. So you got the reverse charging feature. Works just fine in this setup with this random power bank. Or, I mean, so many words. This random charger for A6000 Sony batteries getting charged through this using power from camera batteries. So that's kind of cool. And it works. All right. I could try a few other things. Let's try a GoPro. That's more of a logical use case, right? Got it around here somewhere. There's a GoPro 9 with the case on it. So there's the USB-C port. Just plug this in here. And then plug this again into the C2 output port. There we go. So I'm looking for indication that it needs to be charged. Now turn the camera on. So it's a 90%, but it does show that it has a power source right here. So that's cool. It's getting power from the device. Now I don't know which of the batteries it's pulling from. In this case, it's not really indicating which one that it's using. But it does it changed the icon, so it's kind of difficult to see on the screen. There we go. Yeah, so the icon went from the top icon to this bottom one, which shows a little battery in the screen there. Yeah. So it works. Cool feature. Not much else to say about it, really. So use cases would be whatever situation you're in. If you need extra power, and all we've got our camera batteries in this thing, you could use it. So it's pretty cool. And it doesn't, like I said, it does not come with a USB charger. So you probably want to look for a really nice one to make this as fast as possible with charging batteries. All right, let's take these out for the moment. So that was that. I think it was called the, let's have a name on here. It's looking for a product name. I don't see it offhand, but 4-slot for the EN-EL15C. You can get it with or without batteries. Next thing, this one looks really interesting. So it's the F15 2-in-1 high-speed card reader with slots for storage, or I mean just to hold them. And it says dual card simultaneous reading on the bottom here. So this is SD, micro SD. It seems like it'd be a nice option to put in your camera bag. So you could copy over photos from your phone or something when you're out in the field doing whatever you do with photography or videography. Just trying to get this sticker off so I can open it. Probably should have just cut it. There we go. Oh, it does say IP54. So it does have some form of water resistance. I'm not sure on the specifications of IP54, but that's a nice little addition. Care about that. All right. There we go. Let's move that over. This one's also got a little manual to it. Shows a diagram. So different spots for memory cards. So this is F15. Product model number R404. The size, it's plastic and silicone. It's meant for phones, iPads, laptops, anything with a Type-C USB connection. I think it might have yeah, it has an adapter as well. So that's good. It says this product supports hot plugging. Make sure we're focused here. Now please insert the SDTF memory card into the product first, and then connect it to your computer or phone using the Type-C 3.1 cable. Supports dual card reading simultaneously and is compatible with UHS-1 and UHS-2 memory cards. So if you're unfamiliar with SD memory card types, UHS-1 and UHS-2, I have an example here of the different types. So this is a UHS-2 card. You can see a clear difference with the number of pins on the back. So this potentially supports higher speeds than this one based on the interface. So I'll try those out. What we can do here is fill up a card with some information. So we can try it out. Zoom out here. There we go. There. Whoops. Switch to photo mode for a second. I'm going to clear these out just in case. I think that's in this menu. Or not. Is it in this menu? It's been a while. Thought it was in this menu. Nope. Oh, here it is. It is. That was weird. All right, so I'm just cleaning out these cards. I'll take a burst of photos and then I'll do a video on one of them. Let's see. I'm gonna switch the shutter type so I don't unnecessarily take a bunch of photos with the mechanical shutter, which I need to remember where that is too. I think it would be in here. Okay, silent photography on. And then I'll switch it to high speed. Let's turn off the stabilizer. AFC, well, actually I'll just do manual focus. All right, and then change this to high speed, which for the Z5 is not very quick, but yeah. Just hold down the camera for a little bit. Yeah, if you have any questions, I'm open to trying to figure it out for you. It doesn't have to be about this stuff. It can be about cameras in general as I'm streaming. But I need quite a few photos for this to make a difference with. I wonder if there is a faster way to. Oh, I have it in JPEG. Yeah, that's not super useful. It's going to be small. All right. Let's see. Anyways, as I try to hold that down. Oh, I hit the buffer. Let's pull this out. Here it is. Good size to it. So this is some type of grippy finish. I think that's probably the silicone material. This slides down. Okay. So this is integrated in here. It does have some plastic as well. And then we've got the slots for memory cards. So we got 2 SD, 4 micro SD, and one of them has a little nub there. On the other side, so it's kind of cool. You have another set of SD and micro SD, but then it includes a little pin thing for phones, and it's integrated with it. So generally, on most phones that do have a memory card slot, you're going to need this sort of little piece of metal to deal with that. Let's see if I can extract it. Okay, it's kind of a tight fit in there. I don't know if I'm supposed to pull it or what. Okay, yeah, I think he's supposed to slide it back, which is what I did, but it took a little bit of effort. That's nice though. Again, if you're unfamiliar with these, generally phones that still have ports, this is the type of tool that you need to access the card reader, you know, the slot for a memory card. And generally your SIM card for phones that still use physical SIM cards. I think Apple went to digital stuff, but with the phones that I use, they have memory card slots and SIM card slots, because I tend to use cheaper prepaid phones and such. Yeah, kind of cool. So 4 SD cards, 8 micro SD. And then we've got a thing on the side here for the actual USB port connector. So I'm going to assume sliding this. Yeah. So there's that. and that's what you're going to use to connect it to a phone or whatever, so that you can use the memory card readers, which are on this side. It's got the standard SD, micro SD, and it claims that you can do it at the same time. So that's cool. Take another set of photos with this camera so I can have a good set of examples to transfer. Pretty cool. And it's got a rubber, so this is rubber and it stretches. I mean, I don't know what material it is, but it's a stretchy material. So it's nice if you want to hook a carabiner or something to it. All right, let's try putting some cards in here, see if they fit well. Oops, oh, this card's damaged. So you have to slide them in. But I just noticed this card is damaged on the edge. Still fits though. And then this one, yeah. Let's put one of these guys in here. All right, so they're staying in there. I do have a pretty big collection here of cards. So we should be able to fully max this thing out. Oops. All right. It's good. This one's a bad card, but it fits in the slot. I'd put an X on that card because it's got issues. So, yeah. Oh, two more. Let's see if I have micros in here. Oh, here's another one. It's good to at least check all the slots to make sure that they're within tolerances to work right. I do have another area with more cards, so I might have to pull another one just to fully fill it. Let's see. Where is that? I think this is it. Friend had 3D printed me this little thing many years ago. Let's see. It's a 2 GB micro SD card. This one's pretty old. I'm gonna take this chunky one out. Put that in there. It's 128. Okay, so this old memory card here is not within spec or something. It's thinner than, it's 128 megabyte. So this one did not work. It's too thin. I'll try to get a really close up on this. I mean, technically it works, but it's just about ready to fall out. Yeah. So if you have really, really old cards that are not within spec, at least know that they won't be super secure. Yeah, this one too. This is an old 8 GB. I mean, it technically is fine because it comes with the case thing. So it doesn't need, I guess it really doesn't need that amount of stuff, but yeah. What you could do, I saw one of these slots with the, yeah, so this slot here has rubber on it. Let's try this old one. That's a little bit better. Oh, how's it going? No, there are ports on the side here. So you can see that's where the readers are. This is just for storage. Yeah. So there's a standard SD reader and a micro SD card reader, but it does say that you can read. Yeah. It does say you can read from both card readers at the same time. So that does stay in there with the little bit of, but for whatever reason, they don't have that material in all of the slots. Anyways, that still fell out. So just fair warning, if you want to put really old cards in here, they might be too thin to stay in there well. Let's see if I have got this one. Okay, that one's fine. This guy in here, that one's all right. Now let's try out the reader functionality. Yeah, this is, I think, USB 3.1 spec, UHS 2. So for the, I don't know if it's UHS 2 for the micro SD, but it might be. Sadly, I don't have a UHS 2 micro SD card, but I do have a UHS 2 standard SD card that I'll try. Just trying to fill up a camera with some photos. I'll have to use my other phone. And then I'll also connect it to let's take this to a PC in a little bit. So, phone. Let's try this out. So it mentioned putting the cards in here first. Okay, the camera's still writing to the cards. And then it said to connect it after you put the cards in there. And then got this little additional piece. So this goes on top. And it claims to be IP65. I don't know, IP54. So it says IP54 rated with this thing on it. But I wouldn't go out of my way to get it wet. Oh, this comes off too. Oh. So there's a little thing on the top. Yeah. I think I put this backwards. There we go. And then put that back on. Cool. So nice little functional thing for photo trips or something. Yep. All right, let's try out the actual reader. There's the port on the bottom. I've meant to say, this does not have a battery. So I talked about that earlier, this thing. This is the thing that does batteries. So this is a 4-port charger with reverse charging from LLANO. And it's got 2 USB-C ports on the side. And this is made specifically for the EN-EL15 type. Probably the C variant. So that you can, I mean, it probably would work with other types of EN-EL15, but I'd only have the C type batteries to try. And you just put them in here, and then you can charge the batteries themselves or output from the camera batteries. So it's kind of a cool little extra feature on that thing. Yeah, so this has the integrated USB-C port or connector, and it does have got some little rings in here. Okay, these look like gaskets. I would assume those go somewhere so that okay, there is a little gasket right here. So right there, it's kind of hard to see probably. So they include 3 of them. There's a little thing of extras, which is nice. So that's where the weather resistance rating comes from, I'm sure. And that. All right. So we've got 2 memory cards with data on them. I have the UHS 2 card and a standard SD card. I should also, I should have put photos on a micro SD actually. Let's see. Let's go with this one. I'm gonna put photos on a micro as well. Or maybe I'll put some video on this one. It's a little bit easier to deal with. It cooperates. There we go. Well, this battery's almost discharged. All right. Oh, you're saying, does the charge level on the unit screen agree with the charge level of the batteries? You can try it. Sorry, I didn't see that message. Let's see. I think this was... So that says 22%. Whoops. And then see where in the menus. I'm trying to remember where it might say in here. Might be in setup menu. Energy saving, battery info. So this says 24% in the camera, and it said 22% in the charger, so it's kind of close. And that was a third-party battery. We can also try an official battery. This one. These might be fully charged though. Let's go to the menu. Yeah, this one's 100% charged. It's not super useful. Here's another one. Okay, this one's 58% for an official battery. Let's try it. In the charger, I'll pick a different slot. 59%, so it's pretty close. Yeah, and that's an official Nikon battery. 58 versus 59% rating. Take this in here. So I'm just going to set up the camera here to record some data for me. Let's turn that off. It'll do 4K. That'll be a lot. And how much data this camera uses with video. I'm going to format this card. Let's see. There we go. All right. So I'll just leave that for a second. Let's try this out. I'm going to plug in one of these cards. I'll try the UHS-2 card first. Forgot that I was so closely zoomed in. So this is a UHS-2 SD card. Put it into the slot for the reader. And then I've got a phone. This phone's USB port I don't think is very fast, but we'll try it. Plug this in. So it works with my case. That's good. And you can see that there's a light showing up. Let me pull this cover off. It's so bright in here that it's kind of hard to see certain things. But there is a light around this edge here that showed up when I connected it. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Yeah, right there. So I have it connected. It says there is a device, explore, and then it gives me obviously an option to, I'll do this off screen just in case. All right. Yeah, so here it is. Let's go in here. I should probably do any speed tests on the computer. Yeah, so here are all of the sample photos that I took shortly ago. There's a lot of them. Let's open a JPEG. Let me try image toolbox maybe. Yeah. So it seems to work just fine on the phone. This is a specific application just to work with pictures. Cool. That's 8.3 megabytes, opened pretty much instantly on this phone. So that's cool. Turn this off. So I'm going to leave that in there. And then take this micro SD card here. And I just put some video on. And slide it in here. So that's a spring-loaded type of drive there. See, it pops out. All right, so now we've got 2 cards in it. The phone again. Let's close that. All right. Oh, there are a few things in here that I need to show before I move on from that. Let's plug it in. Okay, yeah, it sees 2 devices. So right on the top of the phone here, let's make sure it's focused. So it does see both drives. Yeah. We got the 2 different drives. So one of them would be the micro SD, one would be the standard. So it does allow you to access both drives at once. Try one of these. Okay, this is the micro SD card. So we've got the 1 video file. Let's try it out and see. Let's try VLC. I don't know if I've ever used this. Oh, there we go. It works. Yeah, so I didn't do much with the camera, but it is running, and that was 4K. So it seems all right. Cool. Zoom out there. Yeah, not much else to that. Just gonna disconnect it. Now I can put this on the computer and copy those over and see how quick it goes. Be a little extra setup here as I transition back to the computer. Right. There we go. So far, so good. Oh, I need this and that. All right. I mentioned this a few times before, but LLANO did send me these things at no cost. They didn't pay me anything, and they had to agree to my terms, which basically says they have no say in the content of anything I produce. They don't get to preview it or anything. Obviously, I'm doing a live stream unboxing, so yeah. This is kind of a human scale example of what they look like instead of just hands. There's the card reader without the covering thing. I could get that too. Let's see. Oh, I need this as well. That over there. Where is the cover? Here it is. It there. So it's got this silicone cover. This little spot to push this loop through. Also, forgot to show. It does have a carabiner type thing. So this is included, this little metal thing, and it's spring-loaded. Yeah, that's nice. And then obviously this probably is meant to go here. My hands will cooperate. There we go. Yeah. So you can connect that to, oh, I should have done it the other direction. Connect it to a belt loop or something, or a camera bag. And then it also has this that I did not show. So this is a little adapter. I'm gonna have to use this on the computer. So it's USB-C to USB-A adapter. And that's a USB 3 type. Actually 3.1 potentially. It's the lighter blue. I'm not sure on the spec of USB colors and types. But this obviously would go here. So then you can use it on a standard computer that doesn't have a USB-C port, which I'm gonna do right now. And connect this to the computer. We'll try it out. Yeah. Have to find a port that's available. So this is a USB 3 port. It's not necessarily as fast as the reader could potentially do, but I'll connect it. Just let it hang there, I guess. And it's hard to show. Let's see what we've got connected here. Okay, I do see 2 drives, which is good. Pull this over. Whoops. There's 1 drive. That's the D drive, and then I have an F drive, both from the same device. So we'll try to do this simultaneously. And then I'll copy it over to some of my SSDs in here. And I'll separate it just so that it doesn't push the one drive it's being copied to. And then keep in mind that the micro SD card in this reader is standard. It's not the UHS 2. Sadly, I don't have a UHS 2 micro SD card to try this with. But the standard SD card is UHS 2, so that should go over 90 megabits a second. We'll see. Let me make sure which one is what. So this is the micro SD card, this one on the bottom. And then this one on the top is the UHS 2 SD card. And then I'll pull another drive that I can copy to. Let's see. It's going to be a little bit of prep here. New folder. Right. Why did it do that? So that's one drive that I can copy to. And here's the other drive. Just hide these. All right. Let's see how big this is. Properties. So that's around 4 gigabytes. This is around 2.5 gigabytes. Copy that. It's going at 30 something. This could be based on the card. Okay. Interesting. So it's not going very fast, but hard to say why. If it's the cards or some other thing going on, or maybe the USB port. It's in a USB 3 port. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. But they are copying at the same time together. So that's at least good. Huh. Pretty sure these are different drives. It's copying to, yeah. Yeah, that's a different drive. Well, let me pause these and then I'm going to connect it to a different USB port. See if that makes a difference. All right. Insert. This one should work. So it's possible that the adapter is a factor as well, but the adapter does have the blue indicator on it. So I connected to a different port on the drive, and I'm using the USB-C to USB-A adapter. My computer does have a USB-C port, but sadly I'm using it for stuff. Well, actually, I probably don't need to. I probably could try the USB-C port, but I'll do this one first and see if it makes a difference. See if there's any comments. Nope. Open a file browser window. Whoops. All right, let's try this again. I'm gonna delete that. It's here. So it didn't see the drive. Let me try this again. Should be connected. I swapped the orientation. Okay, that I had the adapter flipped originally, but then I swapped it just out of curiosity. So that maybe the orientation matters when you're adapting from USB-C to USB-A, depending on the adapter. But I do see the drives now. So here's one. See, this is, okay, this is the one with photos. So this is the UHS-2 SD card. And this one is the UHS-1 micro SD card with a video file. Let's try this again. So make sure yeah, these are two different drives that they're copying to. Put that in there. Okay, that's going faster so far. Oh, it's going slow again. Yeah, not any different here with speed. Okay, so I'm gonna pause these again. And I'm gonna try the USB-C port. So I'm gonna lose some functionality here, but I think it's okay. Pull this, take the adapter off, and then get my port that I need. This is very close to my network port, so I have to be careful as possible. Okay, I think it's in there. Right. Yeah, I've got the D drive and the F drive. Let me just make sure these are the right ones. Yeah, so there's the video file. And those are photos. Let's try this again. Let's delete these. Oh, wow. That's a massive difference. Huh. So the adapter is a consideration. Yeah. Now it's going 80 something. This dropped in speed when this one started, but that was going like 100 and something megabits a second. Now it's up to 50. So that's a combined 100 megabits a second, which isn't really as fat. We'll see what happens to this one when this one finishes. But it's definitely going faster. Okay, that's jumping. Yeah, that's 150 megabits a second. So that's probably the max of the card that I have with UHS 2. So UHS 2 does work. Specifically, for whatever reason, I had to connect it to a USB-C port. This adapter that they included was definitely limiting the capabilities, at least based on my computer. So at the very least, keep that in mind. If you want to use this adapter, you might have some speed considerations. I'll have to do more testing probably with this and just see what the deal is, but sadly, that didn't go as fast. Let's see if I can go to my base screen. So here's the adapter that was limiting the speeds in my case on my specific computer, which is the MSI X670E based AM5 motherboard, and it has a bunch of USB ports. So I tried two different ports and it was going like 15 megabits a second per card instead of 50 to 150 megabytes a second with the USB-C port. So keep that in mind. Anyways, I think I'm pretty much done with the unboxing stuff here. There's the power thing. Again, this has charging through USB. You want to get a charger that supports power delivery, 65 watts, I believe, for this thing. to get the maximum charging abilities with this setup. This specific one is EN-EL15C, Nikon batteries, and it does reverse charging as well. So in the case of any situation where you want to charge your phone or something and all you have are camera batteries in this thing, you can charge it if you want. And then it's got this little cap. It's cool. Comes with a USB-C cable. You pull a card reader. Just try to be careful here. Again, I'm very close to my network port. Would not be good to mess with. And here's the reader that I just tried. There's a little light that surrounds this metal portion. This thing is a cover, so you can take this off if you want. It does have a little gasket here, as I had shown, and it comes with 2 extra ones. So that's the weather resistance rating, that it needs that gasket to work. And then it's got a wraparound cable, the cover. Again, it's got this little thing for phones if you want that included, and then spots for SD and micro. Let's see, like that. Pretty nice. Then you can obviously one side, but you can't see the other side. So at the very least, you can see if you have some cards in there, which is nice. Pretty cool. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. And I disconnected my stuff on the USB-C port, so it's a little more challenging. There we go. Just show a little bit more now that I'm on the correct screen. Oh, this comes off too. So if you don't want the silicone thing, you don't need to use it. It's got a full window. It's pretty nice. There we go. Yep. Cool. This will be super nice for conventions and things that I go to do cosplay photography. I'll put that in the bag with memory cards and stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. It's been fun. Gonna end the Amazon stream here. So thanks. All right, that should be good for that one. Let's pull up the other. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to end the other streams as well. I'll be making a video on this stuff, like a dedicated video. This is a new format to try to do the live stream stuff. So the goal or the idea is to do the live stream of stuff that I'm sent. And I changed my terms so that it allows for it. Because, like I said, companies have to agree to my terms before I accept anything. And I changed the format of it so that it's just live. You know, if I find an issue, then it's there and it's visible. In the past, I said in my terms that when I was just doing the standard videos originally, that if there was this issue, I would mention it to them, like a serious issue, not like simple things that aren't super consequential. I would contact them and then give them the option just to have me send the thing back, but I removed that for my terms so that I could do live streams like this. And you know, it is what it is. type of situation if it doesn't work or something, like we just saw with the adapter for this, that it was not going super fast. But when I swapped it to the USB-C, it went fast. So things to consider with stuff like that. But now my terms are more open for just like live action. So I think that's good. And then I plan on making full videos for this using a lot of the footage from the live stream. We'll see how that goes. So I'll have to edit that and compile my thoughts and make I don't do scripts, but I do notes. And then I'll eventually make some type of hands-on video for this. But yeah. I'm gonna head out. Let's see. Try to find my end screen. It's in here somewhere.